Look, I'm going to go on record and say it like this. This is what happens when you build your entire movement on lies, identity politics, and emotional manipulation. This isn't oppression. This isn't victimhood. This is a choice, a scam that millions of people are finally seeing for what it is. Now, you're watching the collapse of a machine designed to control, not empower the black community. It's over, y'all. Check this out.
For the Democratic Party out there, I'm going to tell you guys why black men voted for Trump in droves. Because you seem not to know. You're talking about spending $20 million to talk to men to see why men ain't voting Democrat. I'm going to give you the game for free. You ain't even got to send me $20 million. Send me $20 so I can put some gas in this truck. Tell you what, the reason why we voted for Trump is because Democratic men, black men, have seen the government used against us for generations. We've seen you guys incarcerate us, chase us around, plant evidence on us. We've seen how Democrats work. So when we saw you doing that to Trump, we felt that. We like, you know what? They doing Trump the same way this whole Stormy Daniels thing. They chasing this man. They bringing up stuff from 20, 30 years ago. They chasing this man. They do the same thing to black men. So we started feeling Trump. We know how Democrats operate because we live in Democratic neighborhoods. We know when y'all want to use the government against us, keep us in court, keep us in jail, be mad at us, so you want to have control over us. So you start sending enforcement on us. That's why we all stood for Trump. We knew what he was about. He was about righting wrongs. That's it. There were wrongs being done in America. We're going to right them. People are taking advantage of America. We're going to put America first. What do Democrats do? Oh, well, we go incarcerate him because we don't want to put America first. Black men are like, every time we try to put our family first, we end up in jail and we lose our family. We try to put our kids first, we end up in family court. We got to pay more child support. We see how Democrats operate. So you want to spend $20 million to find out why everybody's leaving the Democratic Party? Just watch this video. I done told you a long time ago when I dropped that. I said, the more y'all do to Trump, the blacker this man gets. I dropped that video before he was even elected, and everybody laughed at me. Bro, you lost. Trump ain't turning black. You lost, bro. He ain't turning black. I said, no, he ain't turning black. But black people starting to feel him. They know what he's going through because we done been through this for generations. We know how the Democratic Party operates. They want that plantation. They want somebody picking them crops. They want somebody on the bottom so they can stay elite. We know how the Democrats operate. Trump is trying to make everybody eat. He's trying to bring jobs back to America so we can make money. Democrats, the game is up. Y'all party is done. Until y'all realize what y'all have done in the past to us, y'all will never have a future with us. Black men gonna be Republicans forever at this point.
I know that's right, man. I don't see me ever going back. What about you? I don't see it happening, y'all. He said, the more y'all did to Trump, the blacker this man got. Translation, the same dirty tricks the system used to silence people who stepped out of line, they're now, or attempted to use on him. They're still trying to use on him. And it's not about race, y'all. It's always been about control. When you don't comply, when you don't play victim, when you don't need them, they come for you. That's how this works. And anybody thinking, oh, this is just one man's opinion. Nah. Watch this.
Man, let's stop this narrative, man. That only rich, white, old people voted for Trump. You see it? I even got vote for felon t-shirts. You understand? You know why I voted for my man? Because he the only one talk about men. Only talk about men. Everybody else is single women. It's women with children. That don't make this country move. Men make this country move. We the ones paving roads, building bridges, doing plumbing, fire department, police. Stop it. Stop it. I'm a straight black man, 43, from Washington, D.C., man. Stop it, man. I know what's up. I am not fooled by the shenanigans. Send them all back. I can't go to somebody's country without documentation and think I can just chill over that junk. And then they mad that black folks ain't engaging until they protesting. Man, stop playing, man. Man, stop playing. And every black folk that's still voting Democrat, you about as dumb as you look. How you still screaming for the same equalities that you've been voting for since 1955? They've been marching since Martin Luther King. It's 2025 and black folks still screaming my equalities. Guess what you should have did? Took your ass to school, Guess you should have did. Paid attention to school. Guess you should have did. Tried harder. Not be a follower. Be a leader. Be something other than a goofy, a gopher, a fall for anything. Child mind right, yo. You can feel how you feel about old take money. Built like that. But I know what's up, man. Man, I'm shouting out the whole Republican Party. I'm shouting out Donald Trump. God bless America and everything that come with it. Yeah, this country have done tremendous damage to my people. My mama, my grandmama, even my great-grandmama from Savannah, Georgia. So trust me, I know. But at the same time, I also know that when we was out there, when we was fighting, when we was getting abused and everything that came with it, we were still doctors. We were still lawyers. We were still pediatricians.
Yep.
We were still firefighters. We still had our own Black Wall Streets no matter what they try to do to us. So stop the cap, grow up, get your mind right, and everybody screaming about this protesting, we ain't tripping. My voice to y'all, black folk, mind your business. It ain't got nothing to do with us. Let them Bammers get what they deserve. They voted and thought it was going to affect us. They thought that we was going to get deported. How we gonna get deported if we black Americans? Explain it to me.
That don't make sense.
Respect, don't have to. Y'all stay dope, stay out the way. God bless America.
The part that stuck out to me was when he said, how you still screaming for the same equality since 1955? Man, he's right. You ain't oppressed. You know, you ain't stuck. You've been sold a lie. And that lie is, and from the Democrats, is you can't win without us. The system is holding you down. You know what I mean? Vote for us or you'll suffer somehow. That's been a sentiment surrounding the Democrat Party. Meanwhile, who runs every failing city? Them. It's not oppression. It's bad leadership. And this is generally speaking. This is without being tailored to specific context of people's situation. So when folks start waking up, guess who pops up to try to sell the next false savior? Watch this. Obviously, I had to make adjustments for you to be able to get this video seen on your screen today.
I've been a Democrat since I was old enough to vote, you know, but I'm barely hanging on, honestly, because at this point, the party is not bigger than the future of my kids. You know what I mean? Like, I have 3 children. I have, you know, a daughter and 2 sons that have to live in this country as black people. And fascism don't work for me, you know? And I'm not willing to cede the country to Trumpism and MAGA simply because I'm clinging to this party. You know, so people getting all mad at Karine Jean-Pierre for saying she's, but I'm not mad at that because I'm like, at this point, it isn't, who cares what the party label is? Give me an effective fighter. If Jasmine Crockett is the most effective fighter, give me Jasmine Crockett. And I really don't care what you have to move around or who you have to disappoint in order to give me her. Just give me her because we need a leader. I've been a Democrat since
Now, I've never said nothing like this. I don't think I ever will again. But Joy Reid does so much damage. I know that we have forgiven Todd and all that, but I'll be over there looking at her becoming a Republican, like, if she ever did decide to actually leave the Democrat Party and become an independent or Republican, that is. I'd be really sitting there like, I don't know, man. You did too much damage. But then she brought up Jasmine Crockett and said she's a fighter and give her. Really, Joy? Really? This is who you want leading black America? A loudmouth who can't control her emotions. Y'all notice I had to lower my tone when I said loudmouth. Look at me being a hypocrite. But can't win an argument without shouting. That Jasmine Crockett and can't read basic rules in Congress. See, this is what happens when your entire movement is based on symbolism and not substance. But here's the funny part. Y'all ready to laugh? Are y'all ready to laugh? Her own party didn't even buy it. Let's watch this viral meltdown that's going on. This resurfaced, rather. This is an old meltdown between her and MTG, but I'll tell you why it resurfaced in a minute.
You just voted to do it.
Y'all did it first, so you don't want to talk about it.
Voted to do it.
Order.
I'm trying to get clarification.
Look at, calm down. Calm down.
No, because this is what y'all do. So I'm trying to get
Miss
clarification.
Crockett, you're not recognized. Miss
I can't hear
Crockett.
you with your
And
yelling.
You don't want me
calm
to
down.
Be,
Can you please calm down?
Don't tell me to calm down.
Calm down.
Because y'all
Please
talk
calm
noise,
down.
and then you
You're
can't
out of
take
control.
Because if I
Look,
come,
Chairman,
if I
can
come
we
and
send
talk
outside to
shit
take a
about
break
her,
for 5
y'all
minutes?
gonna have a problem.
Chairman, Mr. Chairman.
Order.
All right, Chair.
I don't know why
Okay.
you're
Order.
acting
Chair
like
now
that.
recognizes
Not cute.
Ms. Green for for 4 minutes and 21 seconds. 4 minutes. Let Ms. Green talk, and then you all can. I'll recognize.
But I moved to strike her words for a second time based on her second set of personal remarks attacking another member.
Who? Chairman Comer.
Because you all cannot
I have an
seem
amendment at
to
the desk,
apply
and this
the rules
sideshow
of the
needs to
committee.
stop.
We have to do this every time.
Hey, I'm recognized. I'm recognized. I'm going to go ahead and start talking.
Look, I know. Look, I don't know if you noticed it. I have 2 hearing aids. I'm very deaf. I'm not understanding. Everybody's yelling. I'm doing the best I can. Can we not recognize Ms. Green and let her
We cannot because of the rules of the committee, Mr. Chair. That is what I'm trying to communicate in the present moment.
We have a Okay, what's the motion? What's
The motion.
Don't tell me to calm down. If I talk about her, y'all gonna have a problem. Meltdown, man. Embarrassing. And her reward? Dead last. And her run to become top Democrat on the powerful House Oversight Committee. Dead last, y'all. 6 votes out of 62. Even the people who pretend to believe this strong black woman narrative don't believe, or didn't believe, rather. They didn't believe it when it was time to actually choose a leader, which was you. They decided to go the other route. See, the game was never about empowering black people. And from the Democrat side, at least, they just want black faces as puppets for their own power. You know what I mean? But then, of course, you tell Donald Trump and everybody on the MAGA side that we doing it. I mean, that any support for the black community is just for photo ops and pandering. Yeah, but y'all do this to y'all own people, man. Y'all see this? And while Crockett's over here crashing and burning, even folks inside the party are calling them out. Watch this.
So you're mad with Trump, but your favorite Democrat just saved him. Make it make sense. 128 Democrats. Yeah, Democrats. Just voted with Republicans to block Trump's impeachment from moving forward. Democrats are running around every day talking about Trump as a threat to democracy, but instead you go and save him? And
Constitutional Republic.
But instead you go and save him? And don't come in here talking about, oh, it wasn't the right time or it wouldn't have passed anyway. Symbolism matters. Mm-hmm. Votes matter. Mm-hmm. Intentions matter. Mm-hmm. And this vote, to me, showed everyone exactly where a lot of Democrats actually stand. You can't say you're progressive, then hold the door open for fascism. That's not how this works, baby. So here's the deal. If your representative was one of those 128 Democrats, remember their name. Mm-hmm. Write it down. Tattoo it if you have to, because the next time they're up for re-election, they need to be voted out. Period. We don't need Democrats in name only. We need fighters. We need people who are going to raise the minimum wage, fight for real affordable housing, fix our broken education system, not just collect a check and play nice with people that's just trying to take us backwards. Middle ground is a luxury we cannot afford. Now y'all need to get with the people or get on out the way.
Bingo! It was never about saving democracy, but saving the constitutional republic. It was always about power. Notice, when it's time to march, people post hashtags and scream about this and that, racism, and they there. But when it's time to actually stand for something, they fold every time. Why? Look, it's not about black people. Never was, never will be. It's about them. All right? And when the manipulation stops working, when folks start thinking for themselves, when black people start thinking for themselves, this is what they do. Watch DL Hughley, literally. Let me straighten this up. Watch him fall apart.
You do, you coward. Name me one person, one competent person on his cabinet that can help him. One. The same time, yes, he could have went to jail for starting a riot.
With all due respect, absolute nonsense. He torpedoed a deal with Iran because he doesn't like Barack Obama. Do you listen to this? Do you hear?
He destroyed. Oh, stop it. Stop it. The man, he wouldn't do that. The man who's renaming federal Confederate generals, why didn't he torpedo the deal? Why?
What was crap about it, Mike?
No.
What was crap about it?
There's not. So a better deal is the one he's doing now, man.
DL, come on.
That man torpedoed that deal precisely because he didn't like Barack Obama.
Every president we said that they cannot have nuclear weapons, including Barack Obama.
A mediocre coward who is a bull president, and all of you people enable him. That's all he does. Is break.
Good happens for the world.
You think I care what you think of my? No, I despise him. But if he did something right, I would despise him as much as he despises black people. I despise him as much as he despises. Let me ask you something. Why rename bases after Confederate generals? Why do it? Why destroy black history? Why?
Good question, Mike.
Why do it? You know why? Because he's
let him answer, DL.
And you let him do it.
If you're going to ask him, you have to let him answer.
Why does he do it? Why does he rename bases after Confederate generals? Yes, you do, you coward. He's a racist. That's why he does it.
You are DL. Somebody who
all right.
have more control over their emotions.
Everybody fall back. We got his mic down.
I'll show you how weak I am.
Mike's down.
I'll show you how weak I am.
Okay. Hold on. All right. We're going to do this civilly.
Always go violent, man. Why you got to get violent, bro? What the f are you even talking about? The Iran deal, base names. How about? Look, man, it's the same playbook every time. Whip up emotions, blame white folks, say orange man bad, offer zero solutions. That is never leadership. That is a tantrum. I'll let the comment. Oh, well, I ain't even got no comment. Oh, yeah, I can do this. I'll let the comments cook them real quick because I'm sure they are having the time of their life. Somebody said vaccine, brain damage. I've been on his ass on IG. His direct deposit must still be hidden. Yep, the black community will never forget. And they looking at a picture of Kamala in which he would support, DL Hughley supported. But here's the problem. When emotions ran out, now you got to answer the hard questions. And this is when they panic for real.
Do you believe that America should be a colorblind society? For instance, should people be treated differently based on their race? It's just a yes or no question.
It's not a yes or no question.
It's a yes or no question.
It is as I said in the beginning of my testimony, America
yes or
has
no
not done right by indigenous peoples, by black people, by Asian American and Pacific Islander people.
Should people be treated differently based on their race? Yes or no?
People should receive the services and the support and the remedies that are
your answer
owed to
is
them.
That they should be treated differently based on their race.
They should receive the remedies that are owed to them because of the systemic racism and injustice.
Do you believe that race should be considered in employer hiring practices?
I do not believe that white people are the only qualified people for jobs.
I didn't say that. Nobody said that. I asked you if race should be considered in employer hiring practices. And you're not going to intimidate me by slandering me as a racist.
You're also, I did not call you a racist. No, you're not going to intimidate me by insisting that I called you a racist.
Straightforward question. It's a yes or no question. Should race be considered in employer hiring practices? Yes or no?
I believe that diversity ought to be considered as companies and other organizations attempt to reflect their customers, our country.
I'll take that as a yes. Which race do you think should be preferred?
I do not think that a single race should be preferred.
You just said that you believe that race should be considered in employer hiring practices.
I don't know. There's going to be a transcript of this hearing. I didn't say that in that way.
Okay, why don't you explain what you believe?
What I said and what I believe is that the demographic composition of workplaces, which our nation's military, and so on, our Congress ought to reflect the diversity of the United States of America.
Racial demographic composition. Racial demographic. Is that what you're saying?
Racial, gender.
Okay, so race should be a factor in employer hiring practices. Yeah, that's what you're saying, is it not?
Organizations ought to attempt to match the diversity of their...
You're hopping around the question.
No,
you don't want to
I am answering quite straightforwardly, as a matter of fact.
Who gets to determine which races are preferred?
I already told you I don't have a single racial group.
You just told me that you believe that the racial demographic makeup should be taken into account in hiring practices.
And it should be reflected in all levels of companies and other organizations.
Okay, let's talk about college admissions. If two different children are applying for college, let's say one is white and one is black, and there's one slot available, should they be evaluated based on the same objective criteria? Test scores, for instance.
Are you familiar with holistic admissions?
Should they be held to the same standards regarding test scores?
I am a proponent of holistic admissions.
It's just a yes or no question.
Yeah, no, I can't answer that question for you as a proponent of holistic admissions.
Got it. I'll take that as a no. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Should people be treated differently based on their race? Yes or no? Pretty simple, fair question. And look how fast they start dancing around that question. See, DEI ain't about diversity. It was about division, rather. It keeps people fighting. It keeps money flowing into fake programs and ultimately keeps you and I distracted while they keep power. It's legalized discrimination, man, disguised as compassion. And if you thought this was just in politics, nope, not at all. This is poison in the next generation, too. Watch this.
The idea that a third of law schools require DEI as part of the accreditation process is abhorrent to our constitutional republic. This amounts to a political litmus test in legal education. You know, I will tell you further, in Missouri, as a member of the bar, every year we have to take an hour of continuing education in DEI as condition of retaining our licensure. So I'm proud to support this bill. I think it's an excellent one. And Mr. Chairman, I yield the remainder of my time to Mr. Owens.
What? A third of law schools require DEI for accreditation, is what he said? Think about that. That means you're not training lawyers. You're basically training activists. How you going to run on the fair justice system when you're grading students on skin color and not skill? That ain't about equality, man. Well, this ain't about equality. This is about manufacturing permanent victims and permanent rulers. That's what they trying to do. I keep telling y'all, this ain't about race. This ain't about oppression. This is about power. Fake leaders exposed. Fake narratives shot. Getting sliced in half. Black voters, oh my gosh, they are walking out. The Democrats don't own me. They don't own you. They don't own anybody. And I think the spell is starting to break. This is what it's starting to look like. When free people stop acting like victims and start thinking for themselves, y'all be safe. Please go check on somebody today. You can quite literally be saving their life. Peace.